Welcome, everybody, to the Streakers On podcast. We're looking directly at Lane's chest. It's your boy, Jacob Moore, the self-proclaimed sports analyst, rocking my new Argos hat. Happy Canada Day, very late, but I picked it up, and I love it. Joined by Mr. Lane Dashco. He might have John Cena. I don't know. I still don't see him. I just see some, figure, but I don't know. And, of course, Mr. Moore for your money.
Woo!
Who may or may not take his shirt off. Let's hope not.
Well, you want me to? Okay.
No, people will pay you to keep it on. We have a packed show today. We're going to go over to the Canadian Football League power rankings. The Jays, Yankees, and Red Sox. How did they all do over the weekend? We're going to talk about that. There was some huge controversy in the wrestling ring. So Lane Dashco is going to talk more about that. We will be getting into some NHL news, some NFL news, and I'm doing something a little bit new where we're going to go over the MOP race and see who I think is going to win the MOP and who I think is in the conversation. And let me know. I'm debating on starting to do a player of the week for each sport we cover.
Oh, I like that idea.
So if you want that, comment that in the comment section, whether you're on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, iHeartRadio. You go to Lane's house and leave a sticker on his door. I don't know.
Whoa.
Just let me know.
I'll give you the address.
Let's get right into.
I know how to get there. I'll give you directions.
Dan will give you directions because he's got to bring the Gaviscon, the CFL power rankings. And when we take a look at our CFL power rankings, they have moved around.
Whoa.
Calgary Stampeders, numero un, number one. Saskatchewan Roughriders, dropped them down to 2. I don't think they can go any lower than 2, considering the only team they lose to is Calgary. Here's where people are going to think I'm out to lunch. Edmonton out 3.
What?
Look, they have been, over their last 5 games,
pretty good.
Won 3, and they're playing excellent football. They face Calgary next week. They might be going up to 2, depending on how Saskatchewan does. Hamilton Tiger Cats, I'm keeping around the 4th spot. I think, you know what? Yeah, they've had a couple tough weeks. They're still the best team in the East. Winnipeg Blue Bombers, 5. At the end of the day, they're winning games. I was going back and forth between 6 and 7 a lot, between the BC Lions and the Toronto Argonauts. The only reason why I have BC ahead of Toronto is because they have been better overall this season. They have found more ways to win football games. Again, this could change over the next couple weeks. So BC Lions 6, Toronto Argonauts 7. Again, I was going back and forth. Ottawa Red Blacks 8. Montreal Alouettes 9th. I think the Montreal Alouettes are now officially the worst team in the Canadian Football League. How are we feeling about these power rankings?
Pretty good. I don't agree with the BC and the Argo. I would flip those 2. And I would, sorry, Mr. Dasco, but I would pick Winnipeg over Hamilton.
No.
I don't feel Winnipeg's playing that well. Like, they're winning games, but I don't think they're playing
Okay, but
well.
the last game Hamilton played, we only got 6 points.
9 points.
Whatever. They were single digits.
33% more points than you said.
They were in single digits, which is not good for a football game. So for that reason, I would pick Winnipeg ahead of Hamilton.
Okay, every team has one bad week in their season.
Yeah, but I had the buys. I had 2 bad weeks.
You can have a bad week.
And I lost the game in overtime before that.
Which was a close game.
I have Hamilton where they are still, just because with BC dropping drastically, and I actually am comfortable with Hamilton at 4 and Edmonton at 3. I'm comfortable with where I have my top, honestly, I'm comfortable with my top 5. It was my bottom 4 I have been flip-flopping on. I literally sat there. Lane was talking to me about something to do with, with what we're going to talk about later in the show in the wrestling ring. And I was going back and forth. It's BC, Sixers, Toronto.
And guess what I was doing?
Montreal 8. I went back and forth.
I was getting Gaviscon.
We're
really not sponsored by Gaviscon, but we could be.
It's amazing.
But Lane, how are you feeling about your Tie Cats at 4? I know they're not in the top 3, which I may get some flack. I've seen some people have them as low as 8 right now, which I think is I don't agree with.
Yeah.
How are we feeling, Lane?
I like this list. I think this is fair. I think it's fair. I think everyone's seated kind of where they should be. Some people aren't going to like it, but that's where their teams belong. Like
so, Lane, if
Montreal.
you were going to hypothetically flip something around, I'm just curious, who would you maybe flip?
I think he likes it.
Or do you think this is a perfect list?
It's like that.
You would take this out on a date, tell your girlfriend to stay home. You're taking out the Streakers On podcast CFL Power Rankings.
The only thing that gets me, is I still think if Montreal actually decided to not just be like, okay, here you can have it, here you go, here's a free win, we don't want it. I think Montreal is better than Ottawa roster wise.
Okay.
But I know they haven't had the quarterback, but Bob Dice really just annoys me.
I look at Ottawa though, and I think
But I think they're comparable.
They're using a backup quarterback. They went up against a very good Edmonton team. Like, I have Edmonton right now. I think Edmonton is a team that could beat Saskatchewan or Calgary in a close game.
Edmonton might be a dark horse down the last few weeks here.
Yeah, for sure.
And all of a sudden now, like, I think with Ottawa, my big theory is I feel with everything against them, they've been missing top receivers, they're missing their kick returner, they're missing their quarterback. They're still managing to play competitive football. That's true. Montreal, I understand they're down to their fourth string, but that game wasn't even competitive. They looked terrible.
What I was going to say, you know what Lane thinks about this list, Jacob? It's like that cereal commercial in the 1990s. He likes it. He likes it. He actually likes it.
So,
what are you talking about?
I do.
What is it? Look, what's the kid's name? Tony Likes Life.
Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah, Tony.
It was that. Yeah.
He likes it.
He likes it. He likes it.
I'm curious for you guys here.
Marky likes life.
Could you see this flipping around a lot after Labor Day?
Oh yeah.
100%.
Like, let's say hypothetically, if Toronto beats Hamilton and Edmonton beats Calgary, you got to think about it. If Edmonton beats Calgary, they'll have won 4 in a row. And if Winnipeg beats Saskatchewan, they'll be tied for first in the West. So
crazy.
Montreal and Ottawa and BC all have buys.
Winnipeg won't be tied for first in the West.
Yes, they will.
No, you're on quack. Saskatchewan's got 8 wins. Calgary's got 7 wins. Winnipeg's at what, 5 or 6 wins? How would we be tied?
You're right. They won't be tied. They'll only be 2 points behind. My bad.
Gosh.
My math was, I had in my head Winnipeg at 7 wins.
I know you call me Mr. Calculator, but boy, you're making it too easy.
Oh, Dan, you know what I got to say?
What?
Thank you for catching my mistake. But no, I mean, look, I'm just saying, I think after Labor Day, these rankings could end up staying roughly where they are, or we could see some drastic movement.
I call the drastic movement.
Honestly, I think we're going to see some surprises on Labor Day. We'll get into that way more on our Thursday episode. But these are the CFL Power Rankings.
I like it.
But
actually, I don't, but that's okay.
I know you don't, Dan. But you know what, then, Dan? Make your own damn power rankings.
No, I'm not a supplement.
Yeah, Dan, what are your power rankings?
Yeah. Idiot.
I agree with all of them except for
Let me guess.
the ones I mentioned.
Argos are number 1.
No, I love them.
The Ticats are number 9.
No, I wouldn't.
BC's probably 8 because Nathan Rourke is on the team.
Dan still thinks Claros will win MOP.
Blue Bombers are tied for first.
I don't really like the Blue Bombers.
But I have 4 takeaways from week 12. Because if you want to hear more about week 12, we did a live show on Sunday night going over the
right before this recording.
And we did post-game shows for the games on Thursday and Friday. So if you really want to hear everything about those games, make sure to go over and watch those shows either on our Facebook or our YouTube. Don't go there yet. Watch this, listen to this, do whatever you do, and then head over there. But here are my takeaways from week 12. Toronto and Edmonton stay alive in the playoff race.
100%.
Winnipeg has a chance to win the West. BC and the Rough Riders have some questions. Red Black struggled, but no fault of Dustin Crum.
Yeah.
Those are my takeaways from the week.
Very fair. I like that.
And I kind of look at it, and I people may think I am crazy when I'm saying Toronto and Edmonton still have a shot, but they do.
They do.
They legitimately do. If anything,
Mathematically,
right now,
yeah.
Toronto may actually have a slightly better chance than Edmonton because they haven't lost a season series. Hear me out. They only lost a season series to Montreal for the crossover situation. If they can beat BC again and have that series win, or even if they lose to BC, as long as they don't get blown out, they'll have it via the point spread. I mean, I think they need to win that series flat out, right? But I think Toronto and Edmonton both have kept their seasons alive with their play after this week.
Mhm.
Yeah, I still think Edmonton has a slightly better chance just because they've been playing better They've been playing better football the last few weeks than the Argos. But yeah, both these teams can still be dark horses.
Yeah.
Half horse, half man.
Yeah.
I honestly look at these clubs and I think both teams are playing well. And I think they both have a legitimate shot. I am curious, though. Do you guys agree with my take on Ottawa? Because I'm seeing a lot of people saying, oh, it's just because Drew Brown was hurt.
No,
Dustin
not at all.
Crum
About
threw
Dustin-
for over 270 yards, no interceptions, high completion rating. Okay, the offense didn't score a lot, but I thought the offense moved the ball pretty well.
I feel like I've been saying the same thing they past probably 2 or 3 seasons. I think Dustin Crum is actually a better quarterback than Trey Ford. I get Trey Ford as the big highlight moves, and I gotta admit, that play I saw Trey Ford do in person, 2-3 years ago, was probably one of the best highlights I've seen in person in my life. It was that good of a play. If you want a highlight play, Trey Ford's your guy. If you want to win games, Dustin Crum. So I don't think it's Dustin Crum's fault that they lost. I really don't. I think he didn't play fantastic. He didn't steal the game the way Nick Arbuckle did, but he played good enough that they sort of got the victory, in my opinion.
I think they should have. I would agree with your assessment there tenfold. I think that Dustin Crum played some pretty good football.
Yep.
I thought he moved the ball good enough. I think especially as a backup quarterback on an offense that's not designed around him. Because that's the thing you got to remember. An offensive coordinator designs the offense around their starting quarterback.
Makes sense.
Where that's not Dustin Crum, obviously.
No.
So, no, I personally feel Crum played very well.
Well, we talked about this on the island before, but you look at the combination of key injuries to quarterbacks this season and starting quarterbacks not playing to their full potential. I think this offseason, regardless who wins and who makes the playoffs and yada, 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 I think this offseason we're going to see a lot of movement in the quarterback area.
Yeah, I think we potentially... Well, I mean, there's always a lot of movement in the Canadian Football League.
I get that, but usually a quarterback is your franchise guy. You usually don't move your quarterback. Like, I trade for Cody Fajardo and Bethel Thompson was like unheard of in the CFL. Right? You normally don't move quarterbacks. And when I say move, I don't necessarily just mean trades. I think you're going to see a lot of quarterbacks not getting re-signed and being open to free agents. We talked about possibility at Chad Kelly getting moved. Trevor Harris, because he's going to be 40 years old. You know, Nathan York, how is he going to get? We're going to finish the York.
You're not going to see Nathan
now,
on the move,
or we're going to see York at the beginning of the season. You look at Edmonton. Are they doing Cody Fajardo or Trey Ford? You look at Winnipeg. Zach Collaros is not playing as good as he used to be. You look at Toronto. You go Arbuckle, Kelly. You look at Ottawa. Drew Brown's going to keep getting injured. They're going to let Dustin Crum run the show. If Alexander keeps getting injured, you're going to stick with him. If Levi Mitchell, are you going to continue with him or not?
So I think you're going to retire. I
think the only quarterback I would say in this league that's safe for the offseason would be VA. Because VA has played consistent all year. He's been pretty healthy all year. And yeah, he makes some mistakes, but he wins games.
Well, that's the thing.
I say the 1 second most safe would be York because of that contract, right? You made him the highest paid player in the league. No one else is going to take. I think this is still another year on that deal. And, But even Chad Kelly, even though there's 1 year left on his deal, he's the second highest paid player in the league. So if he is injured or if he comes, if Arbuckle falls over 5,000, 6,000 yards, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, I talk about what's on our live show, and if some bizarre thing happens, I'm not saying it's going to, but the last 12 months, Arbuckle went from a first-string quarterback to winning 2 games to winning the Eastern Conference final game in the fourth quarter. That's when Chad Kelly got injured or broke his leg, unfortunately. To winning the Grey Cup against Winnipeg as debatably the most dynasty team in the 2020s. To not just winning the game and beating Winnipeg, but winning MOP for the Grey Cup. Then if some crazy thing happens this year and you make the playoffs, you take a 2-8 team to a playoff contention team. If you do all that in 12 months, well on pace of throwing over 5,000 yards and 25 plus touchdowns, and you can get that at a fraction of a place of Chad
a lot of
Kelly.
amps, but
Well, if that happens, I'm being honest, guys. Chad Kelly's lost his job as Ergo starter.
And I love Chad Kelly. He's my boy, but I don't know.
I'm saying this right now. I'll say this right now with 1,000% confidence. If Dan's saying what happens is true, and you guys get rid of Nick Arbuckle for Chad Kelly, that's the worst decision your franchise will ever make.
I agree with you.
Because at this point, it's like, you know what? I get Chad Kelly's your guy, and maybe he is the franchise QB. But at this point, Nick Arbuckle came in, he saved your season last year, he won you the Grey Cup. Even with the struggles this year, if he takes this team to the playoffs and even gets them potentially to another Grey Cup, and you get rid of him and ship him off to Hamilton, or you ship him off to Ottawa, or you ship him off to Montreal, you are gonna regret that decision, just like Buffalo did with Jack Eichel. It's gonna be on that magnitude of things.
I actually agree with you, Lane.
Yeah.
It'll be.
I think it would be that big of a regret.
It would honestly be a franchise destroyer.
Wow.
It would.
Lane, I actually agree with you 1,000%.
And I hate saying it because I have Chad Kelly's jersey. You see me wear it on the show on the island. I've defended Chad Kelly because I honestly, think he's a really good guy. And
now, mind you, I am of the opinion Chad Kelly, if he is not a Toronto Argonaut next year, I still think he will find another job in the CFL. This is an argument that Dan Gray and I, good friend of the program, were having. He's like, if Chad Kelly his career's done in the CFL, I don't think it's done.
No.
I think a team let's be honest, Trevor Harris, this is probably his last year. This might be Bo Levi Mitchell's last year. Now, I think in Hamilton, I think there's a good chance they're just going to go to Taylor Powell. But I could see either Hamilton or Saskatchewan calling a guy like Chad Kelly and saying, hey, you know what? You lost the starting job because you broke your leg. That's no fault of your own. Why don't you come here and see what you can do?
Exactly.
But to go into some of these other takeaways from the week, Lane, how out to lunch do you think am I when I'm saying Winnipeg still has a shot to win the West?
What are you, Dan? Have you and Dan switched places? What did Dan do to you? Did he give you did he give you some special lemonade when we were off camera or something?
He gave me a special Gaviscon.
No, he's drinking the Kool-Aid. Yeah,
drinking the Kool-Aid. Yeah, I wouldn't drink it anyway. There may be some.
But Lane, statistically, you're 4 points behind. You're playing the Rough Riders back to back. You usually beat the Riders at Labor Day and the Banjo Bowl. You've done it the last few years. Trevor Harris is coming off, I think, his worst start of the season.
Oh, yeah.
Winnipeg has started. Brady Oliveira is coming off his best game of the year. You start to look. I think it's doable.
So I'm not going to drink the Kool-Aid yet. I'm not joining the cult yet. Drinking the mesmer. Oh, one of us. But I see what you're saying. I'm just not ready to take a sip yet. I'm gonna drink Renegade Pepsi.
Wow.
Renegade.
I'm not
Good
totally
song.
on board, but I do see where you're coming from.
But another takeaway I kind of want to dive into a little bit is BC and Saskatchewan. I feel, truthfully, I think they really got knocked down a peg, not just in the power rankings, powered by me, but also just the play on the field. BC's defense got completely annihilated.
Yes.
Saskatchewan's offense, Trevor Harris only had one good quarter. The rest of the game, like the first quarter, he only threw for 10 yards.
Yeah,
Like,
he's on
it
pace
did
to
not
trade
look
Ford
good.
numbers.
And you started to see two teams that of late looked unbeatable. All of a sudden, they look pretty damn beatable. So, but especially BC's defense, and they did that. They allowed Toronto to put up that many points when Toronto's not been able to run the ball all season, and DeMonte Coxey was injured.
Yeah, that's the
You got to think about it. If Coxey was in that game, imagine how much more offense would have even been there.
Imagine Chad Kelly's playing could have been a 600-yard game.
Honestly, Dan, unpopular opinion, I don't think Chad Kelly could have done any better than Nick Arbuckle did in that game. I really don't. Nick Arbuckle had, I believe it was either 5 or 6 throws over 30 yards.
Oh, he played incredible.
He was just basically anything Nick Arbuckle wanted to do, he did. And I thought that was a game. I remember I called it going in. I thought this was going to be Nathan Rourke, Nick Arbuckle showing the league they're two of the best quarterbacks in the CFL.
Mm-hmm.
One quarterback answered the bell.
Yeah,
Nathan Rourke did not. I would be moderately concerned with Nathan Rourke after that game against Toronto. After the interception,
I was going to say the interception was the changing
he
point.
couldn't, and he should have been intercepted earlier in the game too on the drive that turned into a touchdown for them in the first quarter. So Rourke, go ahead, Lane.
I'm still pretty happy if I'm a BC fan with Nathan Rourke's performance. Yeah, this week kind of got out of hand where Nick Arbuckle and the offense really got rolling, and it felt like that defense couldn't stop a beach ball. But at the end of the day, if I'm a BC fan, I'm still pretty happy. I still think Nathan Rourke, he's got his flaws. I don't think he's as good as the player we saw 2 years ago, but I think he has started to show, again, it's now 3 games with over 300 passing yards, still getting touchdowns. He still makes explosive plays. They've got some work. They've got some concerns, but I'm not writing up BC yet. I still think this was a bad week. They'll bounce back.
Well, that's what
I still got faith. I got faith in Mr. Clipboard.
You know what, Lane? No, I guess the difference is going into this game, I was starting to lean in. If Rourke keeps this up, maybe he's an MO. He might be.
But he did for the first
favorite for the MOP.
I don't get it. The first quarter, he was like, it looked like it was going to be an ugly.
Yeah.
You know what it is?
Football
was a game of adjustments, and Toronto went from running all zone to a zone man mix, where they still had some zone defense covering a little bit, but it was mostly a man-to-man defense. Which I find Nathan Rourke is really good against zone defense. He can read zone defense the way I like to read the circus book when Dan tells me that Nick Robertson can't even make an OHL.
Oh, I know. I've even texted you guys. I was like, what are the Argos doing with this zone defense?
But you know what? They made a quick adjustment. Because Nathan Rourke, I can't disagree with you, Lane. He's got 3,012 yards, 18 touchdowns with 7 interceptions, lately. Efficiency rating of 110.1. Like, he's playing some really good football. I feel the same way about Trevor Harris after this week, though. There is a little bit of like, what just happened?
Yeah, for sure.
And you just hope for both of these guys that this doesn't.
I wonder if it's a coaching thing that they told him to chill, and like what you guys said, like maybe they told him, okay, relax on these long bumps. He's like, that's literally I was created in the lab, and that's all I know how to do.
Well, and that's the thing. Once Toronto started running tighter defense, and I felt too, Toronto started blitzing Rourke a lot more, and so did Calgary against Trevor Harris. I mean, Trevor Harris, I don't know if you guys saw the one sack. He just got absolutely murdered. But this brings in our unscripted, but I knew it was coming, our first gas or ass of the day.
Ooh.
Gas or ass. The concussion spotters should have pulled Trevor Harris out of that game.
Gas.
100% gas. I was
I'll say
very.
gas as well,
I think the
yeah.
league missed the boat on that one.
I think so, because he did look wobbly when he was like standing up. He looked very angry.
He looked like Tunga Loga after the hit.
Because as crazy as it sounds, people forget about concussions. It doesn't just affect you physically. We've all had them, unfortunately, here on the island. It affects your emotions, too. So when you saw Harris looking so angry, normally Trevor Harris is as cool as a cucumber, right? He doesn't. It's normally like stone face. He doesn't show any emotion. And for him showing that much emotion, it could be a sign that if there was a concussion and there was something a little bit off. And, if concussions are such a serious issue, maybe not so much at the time, but long term. And these are human beings with families and lives outside of football. And at the end of the day, football is just a game. You got to be concerned about the human being underneath the helmet, right?
100%.
And, and the other thing, too, this might sound terrible, but Saskatchewan statistically is the best team in CFL. It wouldn't hurt to give Jake Mayer a few more reps just in case something happened. It's not like
Jake Mayer's serviceable. Like it's not like he's terrible.
No, for sure. Like I'm not saying it's any way or any better, but it's not like it was the last game of the year and you had to win to get the playoffs. I still think the person is more important. But if someone's like that and you take a gamble, it's like, okay, I kind of get it. But we're halfway through the season. You're 8-2 record. You have a 39-year-old quarterback and you're gambling a concussion. What are we doing?
I got to agree with you, Dan, on that one. I just really think safety has got to be.
When you have a serviceable quarterback. Yeah.
And safety's just got to be a bigger priority there. And that's what the concussion spotters are there to do. Like that's the saying is you had one job. That's what I felt like. You have one job. A guy is clearly not all there. And Trevor Harris is a battler and a competitor. He's going to say, put me in, coach. I'm fine, even if he's not. And that's no disrespect to Trevor Harris. Honestly, I love the guy. He's one of my favorite players.
100%.
Guy that I really think didn't get a fair shake when he was in the NFL either. And it was one of my biggest takeaways from this week.
Question, Jacob, and I apologize as I should know the answer. With the CFL, the concussion spotters, are they third party or they work for the team?
They work for the league, not the team.
Okay, so they're third party.
Yeah, they're third
party. So they should have did the right thing and play on the side of caution.
Just actually, speaking of caution, Dan Apolko from the Ottawa Red Blacks has been released from hospital the day after the incident.
Oh, good.
And he seemed okay. They more or less huge hit, potentially lost consciousness, even if it's for a split second, neck soreness and massive headache. Ambulance comes out, neck brace, get him off the field.
Scary.
It's the right decision.
Oh, it was. It was a scary to watch.
It is scary to watch, but I think those are kind of the main takeaways we have from week 12, and I can't wait for week 13.
Quick little side note, kind of NFL news, but CFL news at the same time. I can't remember the guy's name, so I apologize.
Ralph Hawley.
Yes.
Ralph Hawley was released. I was going to talk about that in the NFL segment. We can bring that in now. Ralph Hawley was released. So was Pokey Wilson.
And that's not Pokey Wilson.
And so was Mackay Polk. Now, Mackay Polk was released more recently, so he is available right now. Pokey Wilson and...
Did Polk get picked up from a second NFL team?
Yes, he did, actually. You're right.
That's why he's not Argo yet.
Ralph Hawley and Pokey Wilson could potentially be coming back to the CFL. Now they have to go on waivers, and all other 31 teams in the NFL have a chance to claim them. Then the NFL team that cut them does have the ability to offer them a practice roster contract. Now, that player might not accept that contract. Like, for example, Austin Mack last year was offered a practice roster contract, and he just said no and went back to the CFL. He said he wants to play.
Yeah, for sure.
So time will tell there, but
I forget what second team picked up Polk, but I know someone did when he was placed on waivers.
But I was really surprised about Pokey Wilson. He had a really good preseason.
Yeah.
I think Winnipeg's definitely going to call him, considering they really
imagine Winnipeg gets him. That could be a game changer. Talk about Winnipeg taking first in the West. That could be a game changer.
But now let's jump right into the MLB. When we take a look at Major League Baseball, the biggest thing we got to talk about are the Toronto Blue Jays. And you know what? The Blue Jays overall, we really dug into it deeper in our live show again that we had on Sunday. But they split the road trip 3-3, which some people were disappointed with. I'm okay with it personally.
I'm happy with it.
Considering they're not the problem is you went against two lower seed teams. I think you're really hoping to go 4-2 at least.
Well, I get that, but the Jays' record all season on the road have been well under 500. And you get all the wins at home. That's how the 20 games over 500, 19, 18, wherever we sit at the moment. But what I mean is, considering you've been under 500 on the road for all year, and now you got to 500, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it's a step in the right direction. Because if you're going to go in a deep playoff one, which I think we're expecting this team to do that at this point.
Yeah, I think they got to
have to win games on the road as well. I'm not saying you got to win all the games because they're going to get a home court, home stadium, I should say. But you got to win a game on the road. It's a fact of 500 on this road trip. And yeah, I get the teams were not superstar teams, but we talked about Miami being kind of a sneaky team. And Pittsburgh has really good pitching. So even though they were under 500 teams, they were still competitive teams. Not like they were Colorado and Chicago White Sox, right? So they're still competitive teams. They got 500. I would take that as a victory at this point in the year.
I'm a little bit of what Jacob said before and a little of what Dan said. Like, I'm looking ever since, like, that big blowout win where you blew the doors off the Rangers there. You're 3-4 in your last 7. And let's be honest, you're not, we talked about the Jays being a team that was kind of like not giving up and finding ways to win. And they really haven't been doing that aside from, Shane Bieber going up there throwing 9 strikeouts. Yeah, well, of course you're going to win when your pitcher strikes out 3 innings in a row. And then, the following game, you got some good momentum. You did battle in that game. And I'm not saying that they're playing bad, but, you lose 2 from the pot. You lose 2. You lost the final game against the Rangers. Then you only beat the Pirates once. Then you only beat you don't sweep the Marlins. And, you're still 5-6 games ahead. But you could be up to 8 to 9 games ahead if you just played a little bit better baseball. Jacobs brought up the point the whole time, it's getting closer to that date where September, where everything's going to start ramping up. The pitches are going to get harder. The hits are going to come. The hits are going to be harder to get. The home runs are going to mean more. The runs are going to mean more. Everything's going to start ramping up soon. Teams are going to really start pushing for first, second, trying to get the round buys, trying to make the playoffs. So this is when the season's really you're going to really have to kick your horse in high gear, put that car into the next gear, and really, blow the pistons on and get going here. And it feels like the Jays are starting to, a little bit, kind of slow down a bit. And I'm getting a little worried. Not that I don't think this team is not good enough, because I think they are. I think they have enough pitching to help them. But I am a little bit worried over what I've seen. Like, yeah, you beat the Marlins 2-3. But you had trouble with the Pirates, and now you're facing another struggling team. And then you got to face the Milwaukee Brewers, which have been the opposite version of you, one of the hottest teams in baseball.
Yeah.
And if you could go in there sleepy, they could sweep you too. So you got some tough series. And what scares me even more now, the Yankees, which we're going to talk about, they just snapped a big losing streak against the Red Sox. And I got to tell you, boys, I'm waiting for this Yankee team to wake up.
They always do.
They're the dragon that sleeps in their sleepy den right now. But that dragon gets angry and starts breathing fire everywhere. Unlike the movie How to Train Your Dragon, I don't think you can train this one. And if Judge, Goldschmidt, Stanton start getting going again like they were early in the year, the Jays could be right back where they were.
Well, the Yankees also seem to pick it up at the end of the season, right? We all know that. The thing I'll say about the Jays, the losses suck, but they were competitive losses. I didn't see any blowouts in the past 3 games, right? It wasn't like you lost drastically. It's like Jacob was talking about the compete level a couple weeks ago. They competed and showed up all 3 games that they lost. So that,
I know, but
Look,
I'm just getting I think
all things considered, they're not a great road team. They have a homestand coming up.
Yeah.
And I get what you're saying, Lane. And you know what? I'm starting to have a little more faith just because I think overall they're not playing terrible baseball. Even the last game they lost, I mean, against Miami, they did battle back from being down 4-0 at one point, bringing it back to 4-3 with some really good base running, some smart hitting, some batters getting on base via walks with disciplined swinging. I mean, that's a game if Gausman pitches the way he normally does, because Gausman had an off night, even with 7 strikeouts. He had a bit of an off night. If Gausman pitches the way he normally does, you know what? You probably win that game. So,
and I'm not expecting
mind you, the series against the Twins, which we'll get into in a little bit, is huge, right? It's a huge series, but overall, Vladdy's getting healthy. He did come in as a pinch hitter. Statistically, he's not good as a pinch hitter, but he came in, right? So you have that for you. You had some Bieber fever, and he looked great.
That was awesome.
Scherzer looks better every start that's coming up. I do think this team can, as long as they can continue every 10 win 6, which I feel that's what they're roughly doing.
Yep.
I think they're okay. That's 100%. My take on it. Again, now, Lane, let's say the way you're feeling right now, I will feel that way if they lose the series to the Twins. I'm giving them a series at home just to kind of right the ship. But I would say, Lane, I'm feeling 30% like you, 70% like Dan.
I'm somewhere in the middle. Like I'm not negative.
Why don't you just meet me in the middle?
Yeah.
But I do. I'm still kind of like I like this team, and I think there's a lot of positives. But there's still that kind of like. You're not beating up on the bad teams like you should be.
Mind you, the Jays never do statistically. They always seem to play up to opponents.
I don't. But
I do agree with you, Lane. You want to keep about a 5-game lead before you
have
head
8
into
games
series
if you were
against them.
If you didn't lose the last, if you just won even 1 or 2 of those games.
I know you could have pulled away, and it is disappointing that they haven't pulled away. Because I could have given them a big old achievement if they did pull away.
And I mean, they're still again, I understand they've won the season series against both teams. They're still in a really good spot. I'm not saying that this is not.
No, but Lane, I do agree with you. Actually, you could have pulled away and you didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
So, because let's actually talk a little bit about the Yankees Red Sox series. Yankees did win. I mean, Red Sox did win the series, but there's a huge but here. The Red Sox looked really bad in the last game, and the Yankees really got their bats going, winning 7-2, leading by Jazz Chisholm Jr. with 2 home runs. Chisholm, sorry. Thank you, Lane. You started to see Aaron Judge had a solid night, and the Yankees kind of got back to being the Bronx Bombers, right? So this will be very interesting, though, because the Yankees of late, they've had the odd big game like this, but then they can't string together a group of wins.
No.
So can the Yankees string together a group of wins? That's the big question, right?
You're kind of like I said just a minute ago, you're kind of hoping they don't, because again, this is a team you really don't want to see get hot. They were really hot. They were a team that was leading the AL East for such a long time, and it really felt like, oh, no one's going to catch them. No one's going to catch them. They're just going to keep blowing the doors off of teams with their special bats, and it's going to be a season where we expected. But, I mean, you look at who they're playing. They got the Nationals at home. They should
and
be
the
able to
Nationals
beat them.
are not good.
No. Then you got the White Sox, who are just abysmal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So could be a sweep right there. You think about it, they could, if they could get hot, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If they can play like the Bronx Bombers, you could go 7-0 here. You really can.
But my only thing, Lane, is, and I understand what you're saying, but I kind of want to go over some recent Yankee games. So yeah, they won 7-2. That's great tonight for them. But then they lost 12-1. They lost 1-0. They lost 6-3. Then they did beat the Rays 6-4. They did beat the Rays 13-3. They did beat the Cardinals 8-4. They did beat the Cardinals again 12-8. So like they've actually been going on little runs. But my thing is, it's usually they have one explosion game. They'll maybe have another one that's okay again, and then they kind of go back. And the Yankees are not good defensively, right? So that infield on the Yankees is just abysmal in my opinion.
Yeah.
So if you go against a team, if anything, I would almost say if I play the Yankees, I'm hitting it directly to the infield guys and saying make them
yeah,
because they commit more errors than like any team I watch. And it's not just the errors, it's when they commit them. Yeah. So truthfully, if I'm still concerned about a team catching the Jays, for me, it's the Boston Red Sox. So you have the Orioles, the Pirates, and the Guardians as your next series. None of those teams are phenomenal.
No.
And I think the Red Sox have been playing more consistent baseball of late than the Yankees. I think the Red Sox are overall. The Yankees have the bats, and it kind of ends there. I find when I watch Red Sox games, I find it weird that they'll mic up their players for a broadcast in the middle of a game. I thought that was bizarre. Maybe that's a normal baseball thing. Lane or Dan, you can answer that for me. But I thought that was bizarre. But
I see them interview middle of the game and not mic them up while you just have the handheld mic to go back.
No, they were literally wearing wireless lav mics, and the guy at second base. I thought it was
power to them.
Only in baseball in an actual game. You see it in all-star games, other sports, but
yeah.
Honestly, I think the Red Sox are the team that I would more be concerned. And the Jays are still up five games right now when we talk the standings.
I know it's still a decent lead.
They're in a good position. And, we're talking about, the Red Sox and the Yankees. The Jays have the Twins coming up, which if they can win 2 out of 3, the Brewers, I think, will be a tough series.
It will be for sure.
Milwaukee's Milwaukee is not playing. Actually, Milwaukee's struggling a little bit at the moment, losing 2 out of 3 to the Giants. But overall, Milwaukee is an 81-50 ball club, right? Like they're a good team. So the key for the Jays will be if you can win the series against the Twins and then win the series against Milwaukee, then you have the Rays next before you play the Yankees. If you can continue to go around that 500, 6-4 kind of just over above 500 record, and you win this, if you win the series against the Yankees coming up, you probably make it where the Yankees can't catch you.
Yeah.
If you can keep the pace you're at now. That's why I'm not petrified, but I'm uneasy.
I will say with the Jays, though, I feel much more confident now that the league is 5 games in the AL East, because when you look at a 3-game lead or a 4-game lead, in theory, a series in the regular season never goes beyond 4 games. So if you only have a 4-game lead, in theory, you could enter a series and get the broom, get for sweep, and tie them. Now, if you got a 5-game lead, you need to get wins in at least 2 series just to tie them. So for that reason, that's why I feel comfortable at a 5-game league versus a 4-game league.
But let's say hypothetically the Jays struggle a little bit, like Lane's saying, and the Yankees and the Jays come in and the Yankees are only 3 games or 2 games behind them. All of a sudden, that series, same with they do play the Red Sox one more time too, closer towards the end of the year in September. All of a sudden, there's some concerns. But we do have a series coming up against against the Twins. So let's grab our phones and jump into the street. Hope that gave you enough time to grab your cell phones. Now, who's taking game 1? We talked about it on the live show. Let's see if your opinions have changed. Mr. Morfor, who are you taking game 1? Scherzer versus Ryan. Who's winning, Jays or Twins?
I agree with Lane said. Ryan's an excellent pitcher, arguably one of the best in the league. But Scherzer is going to be a future Hall of Fame pitcher, and it could be, I hope it's not, but it could be his last season. So he wants to go out with a bang. So I'm going to put Scherzer and the Jays to win.
I want the Jays to win. but I think the Twins will win. I think this will be a very low-scoring game, actually. I think both these pitchers are going to have a really solid outing, but I do think the Twins will find a way. Who are you thinking, Lane?
I'm sticking with the Twins. I just think, just like I stuck with the Pirates when Skeens was pitching, I just think that Joe Ryan's such an elite
especially too with
pitcher.
Joe Ryan. He's got a winning record on a bad club, so you know he's a good
Right.
pitcher. But now
It's ERA's low too.
Let's get into these props. And Lane, I'm going to give you the first one. Congratulations.
I was going to write down the props to see who already did.
I already did. Don't you worry your little head. Joe Ryan, he's got to go 8 innings, at least 88 pitches, 9 strikeouts, and no more than 3 earned runs.
I say he does it.
So you're saying yes. I am taking Vladdy Guerrero Jr. to get 1 hit and 1 RBI. I have a feeling he's going to actually be playing and not just pinch hitting in this one. So I am going to be taking Vladdy Guerrero Jr. for 1 hit and 1 RBI. Mr. Moore, for your money.
Yes, sir.
Will you take Max Scherzer for 79 pitches, 6 strikeouts, and no more than 3 earned runs?
Yes, I will. Last time Max Scherzer played, he threw for over 80 pitches, and he had 7 strikeouts. And I think he had another level left in him. So, yeah, I will kick you up in that lively for sure.
And for anyone else who's playing along at home, which I hope you are, would you think the Twins can get 7 total hits? I think that's a stretch, but I'm throwing it in there. I'm throwing it in the mix. A little sprinkle, drama.
I think it could happen depending how long Scherzer plays. Let's say Scherzer only plays 4 or 5 innings and you got to use your bullpen deep. And unfortunately, we said that Jay's one weak point is the bullpen. So
I disagree with you. I actually think the bullpen's getting stronger.
Well,
I think
they have been playing better as of late.
The new starters they brought in and who they want to move to the bullpen. But I think that bullpen's going to get sorted soon.
I hope so, yeah.
But there you go. There's your streaker props. Make sure you jump right into the app. But now, Lane, you're going to tell us what's going on in the wrestling ring.
Yeah, so there's been a bit of controversy, not in the WWE, but on the independent scene, in a WWE ID affiliated show. Which, for those again who don't know, this is not the WWE, but this is a show they're affiliated with. It's their ID program, which is where they try to, scout out people that maybe have an interest in wrestling or might have a background in sort of like maybe gymnastics or some sort of strength that haven't really found their career. They take these people, they put them in a wrestling school, and they teach them how to get into the wrestling business. And there was a show there in Knox X Pro Wrestling Academy just had a show. But unfortunately, there was a bit of an incident as the son of UFC fighter Quentin Rampage Jackson, named Raja Jackson, was involved in a bit of a big fight there and unfortunately got into the ring after being told to do a stunt with the wrestling to hit a guy. And unfortunately, he took it a little bit too far. Unfortunately, not only knocking out the fighter, but also putting him in hospital, losing his teeth, and making him choke on his own blood. So this fighter and this wrestler that was in the ring, and I just want to make sure I get the name right. His name, sorry.
But you know what's tough with this situation, and Lane and I were talking about this off camera while Lane just double checked something there, is you're having a fighter who isn't trained properly to go in and put himself in a tough situation. Now, I'm not defending what this gentleman did. He's a streamer on the streaming platform Kick. For anyone who doesn't know what Kick is a competitor for Twitch. There's been a lot of controversy around Kick. I've seen it from the music content creator reacting channels. There's been a lot of controversy around Kick, but not that I know much about that. But I do.
I never heard of Kick.
Well, I'm going to kick you out. But at the end of the day, it's one of those situations where I don't know if having an untrained wrestler going in and trying to do it, because even though wrestling is not my number one sport, it's certainly a talent that takes a lot of skill and training to do correctly. But Lane, you have some more info on this.
Yes, sorry, my eyes a little wonky there. And the name is Psycho Stu. And what happened was basically the idea that they said was they had a bit of an incident before the show where the idea was Psycho Stu was going to hit Raja Jackson with a beer can and just hit him on the side of the head, and they were going to do a spot later in the show when Psycho Stu was in his match. They were going to do supposed to do a takedown and some fake punches, and then the ref was supposed to come in, take them away really quickly, and it was supposed to be sort of a social media moment for this kick streamer Raja Jackson, who again is related to a UFC Hall of Famer. It was supposed to be something to put on the social media to promote that, hey, we got this MMA fighter mixing it up with our wrestlers. Tune in to see what happens next. But unfortunately, again, Raja Jackson, who Jacob pointed out, is not wrestling trained here. And even though they went over it with him again, unfortunately, he took things too far with the beer can and decided to give this Psycho Stu a receipt, they call it in wrestling, which is sort of I'm going to get you back. And sometimes that does happen in wrestling. Sometimes it's a punch in the head and, they'll go about it. That's actually happened in WWE with Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman. There was one time where, he kicked them in the groin and then the guy punched them in the head really hard. But they went on and did their thing. It was over with. So sometimes that does happen in a match where a wrestler, will do something physically harming, but it's usually just a one and done. But unfortunately, Raja Jackson, who some have said has anger issues, has unfortunately took this a little too far and unfortunately laid in some pretty real punches. Now he claims that he was told just to make them look real, and that he thought he was just going to throw one punch and the referee would come grab him. Now again, the referee kind of was surprised once the fighter was knocked on his back out cold, and he continued to throw haymakers like he's in a UFC fight. So there was obviously some miscommunication knocked out. And unfortunately, the situation, and I can't condone what Raja Jackson did. Unfortunately, everyone on social media is calling for the end of his MMA career and his social media career. And I can understand completely why, because he did something that he wasn't supposed to do. And of course, we don't condone violence here on the island. We don't condone, physical violence whatsoever. I don't agree with that. But a part of this, and I think that a lot of people are missing here, is this goes right back to the program of the WWE and this school. What I don't understand about this is that, this is supposed to be a program where you're supposed to train the next generation on how to become the next John Cena, on how to become the next Hulk Hogan, on how to become the next Undertaker. You're there to promote these kids and set them down the right path so that one day they can maybe show up on a WWE program and they can sort of become a star. And I feel like now they're just, with this whole stunt, they're just training them in the wrong way to look for these sort of action-packed social media clips instead of actually teaching them the right way to wrestle. And now we're getting involved in this whole using celebrities that have no training. And the thing that upsets me the most, more that no one has said on social media, is why didn't they use one of their up-and-coming talents that they so-called have an eye on? And the only reason why they didn't is because they don't have a name. And Raja Jackson actually does have a name because he's related to the UFC fighter. He's on Kick. He's got streamers. He's got a name. His dad's a UFC Hall of Famer. So they wanted to use the name of Rampage Jackson and use his name to get the social media clips. And now, unfortunately, it's backfired. And unfortunately, the company's not going to back it up just by saying, well, we told them what to do. We said, all you have to do is go throw a fake punch once or twice, and we'll get you out of there. But they didn't do that. And now, unfortunately, it looks so bad on Raja Jackson that his career not only as a UFC fighter, but as a social media influencer is probably non-existent. And I I'm not condoning what he did, and I understand why he's in that position. He might face some criminal charges for not stopping, and you can make that argument too. At some point, you have to realize the guy even if you're punching the guy, you have to realize he's unconscious and hold your hand up and go, I don't know, like stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
So there's no defense that he didn't stop what he's doing. If you watch the clip and if you have any sort of graphic violence, maybe step away from it. But if you do decide to watch the clip on social media, the original knockdown, you can tell the guy is knocked out. The first second his head hits the mat, the guy is unconscious. At that point, even throwing one punch was probably unprofessional. Even if you are a UFC fighter, you can realize that your opponent is knocked out, and you can just sit there and freeze. Now, I know he was angry at what happened before that happened, and maybe that's why he wanted to punch him once or twice. Again, I can't condone any of that. That's not professional in any sorts of the term, but at the same time, it goes back on the school that they should be using people that actually have been trained in wrestling, that actually know what to do. The reason why they're teaching these kids is so they can do these things, and that it comes off as an actual, like, wow, we had this thing tuned in next week to see what happens, and now we're involved in this whole, criminal charges, and, now Quentin Rampage Jackson, which I will share, he actually had to get involved here. So he has actually issued a statement based off of his son, and this is even more interesting of what he has posted, and I will post a tweet on the screen. If you are not on YouTube, you can see this on our Facebook and YouTube. I will read the tweet that Rampage Jackson tweeted. It should be on your screen now, and I will read this tweet. So it says, this is from Rampage Jackson as of not 7 minutes ago, but when he posted this. I want to clear up the misinformation about my son Raja. I've been confirmed that the wrestler Stuart Smith, aka Psycho Stu, is awake and stable. Raja was unexpectedly hit in the side of the head by him moments before Smith's match, which was the spot where he hit him in the beer can, which he didn't know about. Raja was then told he could get his payback in the ring. I thought it was a part of the show. It was bad judgment and a work that went wrong. And for those in wrestling, a work is like what they have said. They've set this up. They've told them this is what we're going to do. So that's the word work if people don't know what that term means. Raja is an MMA fighter, nor a professional wrestler, and has no business being involved in an event like this. I don't condone my son's actions at all. He suffered a concussion from sparring only days ago and had no business doing anything remotely close to physical contact. As a father, I'm deeply concerned with his health and the well-being of Mr. Smith. That being said, I'm very upset that any of this happened, but my main concern now is that Mr. Smith, aka Psycho Stu, will make a speedy recovery. I apologize on his behalf and to kick for the situation. It's just such a messy situation right now.
Wow.
Where it just kind of feels like, it's kind of a little column A, column B, but right now it just kind of feels like all the blame is going on Raja Jackson and the social medias. They got their pitchforks out for this guy, and I think, as I said, I get it. I'm not condoning anything. What he did was extremely unprofessional. It was extremely out of hand and extremely over the line. But there's got to be some sort of something about this school not doing it. And I just think this is because one of these things, they just wanted it to work so they could create the social media, get the buzz, and move on. And now, unfortunately, it's this big mess.
Now, what I hate with this, too, and I remember, Lane, you showing both Dan and I this.
Yeah.
With, remember when Travis Scott? I feel this very similar situation. I don't know why we're having that. Would be like sending Dan to go play in the NHL and saying don't get hurt. Obviously, something bad is going to happen. So maybe we need to stop with this crap of putting in celebrities in the ring, unless it's a celebrity wrestling match or boxing match where it's two celebrities and it's for charity. But when it's a legitimate situation, you're putting the celebrity in danger and you're putting the other wrestler in danger, because wrestlers, like I said, it's go through a huge amount of training, right, to do what they do. And It's one of those things. You could even see this in hockey. You would never see Austin Matthews try to fight Matt Rempe because Matt Rempe is trained to be a fighter in the NHL, right? So it's one of those things that maybe we just need to put as a community in wrestling, just put a line in the sand and say, look, if you are not a trained professional, you cannot go up against another trained professional.
And it's weird because we have had good experiences, like Bad Bunny, who's actually a professional rapper and one of the biggest rappers he has had. He just decided he wanted to try it, and lo and behold, was amazing at it. But again, he took the necessary. He went to the performance center and actually decided, "Hey, I want to do this. Can I learn for a year and then go in the ring?" And then he actually took wrestling classes on the side of being a professional rapper to actually be able to go do this, and he was fantastic at it. And another guy who has actually completely blown the celebrity door off, and I know that Jacob and Dan are not the biggest fans of him, but it's Logan Paul. Logan Paul is another guy who has really, really become one of the – I can't believe – I mean, people will hate that I'm saying this. He has become one of the best wrestlers in the WWE.
You're right.
He's got the charismatic. He knows how to talk. He's been in that school 24/7. He listens to the legends. He listens to the school. He does everything he's asked. He never goes off script. He does everything he's asked and more. He's another
one, Lane. I don't know if you knew this, but you know AJ Ouellette from the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He is also taken wrestling lessons now.
Yeah.
And he wrestles on the side as well. But again, you wouldn't want, even when we look at two athletes, so AJ Ouellette is trained in wrestling, right? I would not want him wrestling Nick Arbuckle.
Right.
Because he's not trained. Even though they're both professional athletes, they can take care of themselves. It's just setting you up in a bad situation. It's a bad, and like you said, Lane, we could end up seeing jail time for this.
Honestly,
so do I think we will see jail time? No, I'm sure there's some.
I think we will.
I don't think.
I do.
Lane, they signed. If there was jail time, then I think, unpopular opinion, then Tyler Bertuzzi should also be in jail for what he did.
I was going to say,
and at the end of the day, they sign waivers, they sign contracts, and I guarantee you, it's in there. Basically, whatever happens, happens. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying I agree with it. The only thing that maybe, sorry, Dan, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay. The only thing I think was a little worse about Todd Bertuzzi is it was premeditated. He planned that months in advance. The thing is with this thing we're talking about now, from the video I saw Elaine showed to me, it looked like it was pretty in the taint, like happened that moment.
Well, some are saying it was premeditated because of what happened earlier in the night when he got the beer can.
Well, I get earlier in the night, but that's different than a couple
months
ago, right?
I also want to counter. Did they not say, Lane, you said in the statement that he had a concussion going into the fight?
Well, that's what his dad is saying.
That's what his dad's saying. So if that's true, then
we don't know that.
Gets sued, he's going to countersue saying, well, I had a concussion and they told me to go out anyways.
Right.
So it's an absolute mess.
It just seems like it's just weird because like he said he was told go in there, do a double leg takedown, throw some fake punches. The ref will get on you instantly and get you out of there, no problem. And then he was angry because apparently even though he was told they were going to hit you with a beer can, the guy hit him too hard. So he said, "Oh, I'm going to get you back tonight." And then it's just it's on every level of this is just a nightmare.
I am going to make a quick correction. Thank you to Mad Mama from the floor above. She's alive, just upstairs. But I did say Tyler Bertuzzi. I meant to say Todd Bertuzzi when I was talking about that. I said Tyler Bertuzzi did nothing wrong except decide to go to Chicago. But
do you not I don't know. It's hard to say.
No, Lane, I totally get what you're saying. I just don't think there will be criminal charges. I don't. Again, maybe I'm wrong. But we'd have to see the contract, which we're not going to be able to see.
I think the thing too is it's like what makes it worse is the fact that he's a professional fighter as well, and I could even see.
Yeah, but MMA is very different than wrestling.
I get that, but he's still a professional athlete, right? And I can see it in the video myself. You can tell he was unconscious, and he punched him and never 7 or 8 times
Oh, it was bad.
after he saw he was unconscious.
It's one of
That's
the
the
worst
part
things
that's
I've
bad.
That
I
is
think
not
that's the
right.
part. See, to me, that's the part where I can't get over it. Like I can get,
I'm in the
I
same
can get
page.
90% of this if it was like, okay, let's just say the situation was Dan and me were supposed to go in the ring, and Dan hit me too hard the first time, and then I was mad at
You two are
Dan,
fighting.
so I gave. I'm just saying. Let's just say this is the Jacob left. Let's just say the situation is this is what was happening. I punched Dan because I'm mad at him, and then we're done, and we do our thing, and it's over. The part that I can't get over is what Dan just said. It's like, yes, if you, like I said, you watch the clip, the second his head, not even from the first punch, it's from the takedown. When he first takes him down and his head slams on the mat, the guy's done. And
Exactly.
if you're an MMA fighter, I get they say finish the fight, but most of them, all the fights I've seen, especially Conor McGregor, the second someone's knocked out, they're like, "Hey!"
Exactly.
They're walking away laughing, not continuing to beat the brakes off the guy. That's the one part of this video where there's no excuse from anyone but Rampage Jackson, because yes, you could argue the school made the mistake for involving him. 100%, I would agree with that. Did the promotion make a mistake by not doing what they said they were going to do? 100%. But without a doubt, he's got to realize this guy's knocked out. I need to stop what I'm doing, even if it makes me look stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
He's knocked out. I'm going to throw my hands up and go, what do I do?
Yeah, 100%.
Because this is not WrestleMania. This is not some $1 million show that's going to get ruined by what you did. This is some independent people that just went out to watch a wrestling show. This isn't some serious show. You could have just been like, oh, I don't know. I messed up. So the fact that he did throw those 8, 9 punches and really laid it wasn't like he was trying to fake it. He was really laying them in. That's the one part in my mind I can't excuse.
Well, I totally
agree with what Dan's saying.
I totally agree. And even if it was $1 million show, we talked about in football, these are human lives here, right? That should be number one. And you'll see it in any type of sport. You see it in a hockey fight where the guys are fighting, boom, 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 and one guy's down, and the guy fighting will go like this, but he knows, okay, hey, this guy's out. I'm not going to finish it. And that's kind of a code in hockey. That's why you often see them go like this, but they don't finish the punch because they're okay, this guy is out. And
I'll even give credit to Snoop Dogg back at WrestleMania a year ago. He was involved in a little small wrestling event. He was at WrestleMania, and they told him, you're gonna do this move with the guy. Unfortunately, the guy broke his ankle, but Snoop Dogg was professional enough to be like, oh, I'm just gonna lie down so he can fall on top of me, and I'll take the 3 count so that enough. Did it look stupid? 100%. Did it make Snoop Dogg look stupid? But he didn't care. He was like, oh, he was involved in wrestling. He looked, dude, didn't work
he's
out well.
Snoop Dogg. He's the easiest going guy of
You're
all.
muted, Jacob.
He's like,
oh no, thank you. I just bought a chassis.
Yeah, he did.
I gotta say this with Snoop Dogg though. He just kind of lives his best life.
No, but I'm just saying. But if he can realize he's 90%, he's high 90% of the time, and even he can realize, oh, this is bad. I'll just get out. I'll bail.
But I live in a land called reality, and the reality of it is, I would be very surprised if there are criminal charges.
See, I disagree, Jacob.
Hold on, let me finish. And if there are, it's more on the organizers than the people in the ring, because they set it up. They let them go out there. They didn't train them properly. It's like, for example, let's say you're working somewhere and you fall from heights and you fall on, you didn't secure something right and it hits someone and you didn't get the training. That's actually legally not your fault. That's legally the company's fault. So I'm very curious to see where this goes. And if there are any updates when we do our Thursday episode, we will absolutely update you. But
that's what I was just going to say, too. It's like, I agree with Lane. There will be criminal charges, but it won't just be on the 2 fighters. I think the organizations, like Jacob said, are going to get it really hard, too. And unfortunately, This overall is unfortunate situations with the people involved, number one. But number two, this is just really bad publicity for the wrestling community. Because they're trying to rebuild and rebrand, and they don't need all of this.
I'm going to say this too before we move on to the NFL, and we'll quickly touch on this. I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but the referees, the umpires, whatever they're called in the wrestling.
The referees, they're called
referees. Thank you. Okay. I got it right the first time. Shouldn't have doubted myself. They should be physically strong enough to be able to separate them, because he tried and it was pathetic.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, maybe you need former fighters or at least trainers or something to be the officials. So when something like that happens, they can break it up, because no disrespect to the referee. I'm not, I know that's a difficult situation, but that reminded me of going into Shoppers at 11 o'clock at night and seeing an 83-year-old security guard there. I'm like, well, he's not going to do anything if I want to steal this loaf of bread.
In fairness to the referee,
it's not his fault.
His training is just, I tap him on the shoulder. Okay, we're done. Let's go.
Well, I understand that, but do you need someone? I'm not saying that's the ref's fault. I'm saying, again, this is on the organizations where I think they need to be a little. I think the referees need to be strong enough that, truthfully, they can kick their butt if they need to and get them off the other guy.
That's not the issue. Is, well, I said before, use the people that are.
Well, no, for sure.
If
but
you're going to bring
have
someone
a mental breakdown in the ring. You get hit in the head too many times. I'm sorry, but I just think you need to look at these situations and be like, what are things we could have done to avoid it? Well, but again, if there are any updates by the time we hit our Thursday episode or when we're live on the weekends, because we go live every weekend, in case you didn't know. And if you didn't know, well, I don't know, figure it out. We will update you on that. But I want to move to the NFL. And my biggest question for you guys is our next segment for Gas or Ass. Welcome back to Gas or Ass. And my Gas or Ass is Micah Parsons will be somewhere else besides Dallas by week 1. Gas or Ass?
Yeah, gas. I think it's.
I don't know if you saw it on Twitter. During the last preseason game, he was on the training bench sleeping. He has no interest in being in Dallas. He does not want to be there.
Do you blame him?
No, I don't. But now, mind you, be a better professional about it. You're being paid millions of dollars to play football.
True.
But at the end of the day, he does not want to be there. Him and the owner hate each other. Just trade him. Move on.
Hop in the helicopter and get him over.
Move on.
Yeah.
Either give him his money that he wants, and I feel he's deserved, by the way. And then just move on.
It reminds me of that game when Julio Jones just was on the Bucks. It's just like, I'm out, peace. Literally took his
Antonio Brown.
Yeah. No, wasn't it Julio Jones?
Brown did it too.
Yeah.
No, it's so funny.
He literally took the jersey off.
And ran shirtless down the field, just going bye.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know why football players are like this. They're crazy when they want to leave. They just don't. They don't give two
bleeps.
Words I can't say on this video.
Exactly.
But they really don't care, man. When they want out, they want out. They will. They do not hand it like. They don't like you. They go to the job and like, I am going to hand in my 2 weeks. They're just like, no. Like, no, come out of here. Yeah. I don't care.
So
I'm just going to go home and sleep and eat jelly beans.
Dan, what do you think here? Gas or ass? Remember, it's will he be, not should he
gas.
Be.
Yeah, I like gas on this one.
There's no way you're going to keep
gas?
this down the seat.
Yeah.
You know what, boys? This is a bigger dumpster fire of an organization than the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm going ass. He will be on Dallas week 1.
Whoa.
He might not even play, but he will be a Cowboy. Remember, we're only 2 weeks away.
What?
Yeah, I just got to see a figure. I don't know.
Even John Cena's like, what?
Whoa. He disagrees with me so much, he let me see him. But no, at the end of the day, I think the Cowboys are a dumpster fire.
Oh, that's why
they are the worst professional groom team when it comes to like a culture in professional sports.
Yeah.
And Micah Parsons will be there because they're just going to say, you have a contract, show up. It's kind of like, do you know when you're at a job and there's this one toxic employee, but the company just won't fire them because they're like, well, no, he's an employee. He has to do this or she has to do this.
Well,
That's what it feels like if Dallas and Micah Parsons. Like, he will be there. Do I think it's the right decision? Absolutely not. I think it is a terrible decision. I would have moved him before training camp, even if you're not getting much. Because in the NFL, it's weird. You trade these great players and you'll get like a 3rd round draft.
I know, yeah. But the only thing about we see the same thing in hockey and basketball more often than we should. I mean, look at first one popped in my mind was Danny Heekwee. Danny Heekwee had 50 goal years in Ottawa. Everything's great. Then all of a sudden, I want to play in Ottawa anymore. Only go to San Jose. If they trade me to San Jose, I just won't show up, you know? And then, though you haven't played hockey, they played him a couple shifts and he just skated around and did nothing, basically, you know? So then they did the trade San Jose, you know? So it's like, you know, unfortunately, it's not just football. We see this in multiple sports.
We see it the most in football, though, and I think we see it the most in the NFL.
Yeah.
I find the NFL a lot of like, mind you, I don't blame Micah Parsons for wanting out, but I do think he should be handling this more professionally.
Well, I agree with you. Yeah. I mean,
at that point, just don't show up. I think sleeping on the training table just looks. I would honestly just. I prefer what James Cook did, and he just didn't show up until we got a contract.
Just release him then.
Or you look at the way Vladdy Guerrero Jr. handled it. Yeah, he talked a bit to the media, but he did show up. He was playing. He was playing well.
No,
actually, Vladdy handled it class act.
Well, no, he didn't because he shouldn't have went to the media saying either sign now or I'm not going to sign.
No, I
but overall, it's no better than the way Parsons is handling it.
Okay, yes, he did not handle that well. He played like absolute crap. He was not playing like you got to give Bo Bichette some credit. Bo Bichette has not had a contract,
and he's playing great, playing hard,
and he's playing every game like an MVP quality. Vladdy, he went to the media. He made some crazy remarks about, I'm being disrespected. And let's be honest, I don't care what anyone says. He was not giving it 100%. He's probably giving it like 40 because ever since he got that contract, the home runs started coming and the hits started coming and again.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Again, that could just because he was upset because I think he really did want to be with the Blue Jays. So do I think there's more emotion than not caring? 100%. Do I think he handled it well?
No, he did.
I'd say 50. Is Micah Parsons handling well? Absolutely not. That's just unprofessional.
I think it's better than Parkson. Was still not great.
But what I'm curious about this
they're comparable.
But some more NFL news. I'm very surprised about this with the Vikings trading Sam Howell to the Eagles, and then the Vikings signing Carson Wentz to back up JJ McCarthy. I think Sam Howell was a pretty good backup. I get Carson Wentz has got some veteran experience, but it just seems kind of weird to me. It's like you traded. I think Sam Howell right now is a better quarterback than Carson Wentz. I get you wanted a veteran behind him, but it's not like Sam Howell has no experience. And look, McCarthy, and this makes me think that there's some uneasiness around JJ McCarthy starting week 1, which, I mean, I don't know why they just didn't keep Sam Darnold in the first place. Personally, I actually would have moved on from JJ McCarthy and I would have kept Sam Darnold. Unpopular opinion there. Mm-hmm. But were you guys surprised about that move? Because to me, this doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I got what you're saying.
I don't even really get it for the Eagles either.
I was just going to say that they have Hurst.
Like, he's an Eagles legend.
Yeah.
And they certainly don't need to worry about improving the backup situation because I think Jalen Hurst is at least a tier 2 quarterback in the NFL.
100%.
I mean, people go on, he doesn't do all these magic things. I'm like, you know what he does? He wins games.
Yeah, he wins games.
Right?
Who cares?
Right? I mean, I hate to say it. You can argue he can get it done better than Josh Allen can because he can beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly.
And I hate saying that because I love Josh Allen. He is not just my favorite quarterback. He's my favorite player in the NFL. And it's not just because he's a Buffalo Bill. Like, I think he is just such a good gentleman. Yeah. But I was very surprised about that situation. So it'll be interesting to see if there's more news coming along For some starting quarterback news, we are seeing that Daniel Jones will be a starter week 1.
Ooh.
Lane, you said, "Oh my goodness!" Why you say? Can you just express a little more on that? Like, by the way, the first time I saw it, I just shook my head and I'm like, "Yeah, and Vernon Adams Jr. can't make the NFL." But
I'm with you. I don't get it. Like, I'll never understand why they won't just let CFL players. There's some.
I was just going to say the same
there.
thing.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's like an unwritten rule. Sometimes it makes no sense whatsoever. But hey, it is what it is, and good luck. That's all I can say is good luck with that one.
Good luck, Charlie.
Well, and like I feel the same way too with the
show.
Browns starting like Joe Flacco. Like this man's 40
Yeah,
and
he's
he
actually
throws.
good.
I know, but he's okay. He throws a lot of interceptions.
Like, I can't wait for Aaron Rodgers.
He's better than Daniel Jones, so.
Okay, gas ass. Do it. Hit the button.
Okay.
Get my mouse over there, Dan. You call for a gas or ass, ask and you shall receive. What's your gas or ass, boy?
Aaron Rodgers is better than Jones.
That's like saying what's getting better, getting punched in the face or the crotch. Neither's a good option.
Well, that's why I thought it was a good gas or ass. You gotta actually think about this one.
I'd say gas, but it's not by much gas.
I'm gonna say ass because I think Daniel Jones can at least play a full season without getting hurt.
Oh.
I think they're equally terrible quarterbacks at this stage of their careers. Like, truthfully, I don't know if you guys agree with me. I don't even think either of these quarterbacks can start in the CFL right now. Maybe in Montreal, just because they don't have a quarterback.
Well,
any team that has a starter right now.
Aaron Rodgers has said once he's done his NFL career, if he's able, he wants to try the CFL.
And he would get murdered on that field.
Yeah.
He would. I'm sorry. But the way the CFL blitzes double the time of an NFL, you wouldn't stand a chance in HE double hockey sticks. But it's interesting. It is. That was an interesting one. I mean, Lane and I don't even agree on it. So I guess we'll see week 1 who does better, Daniel Jones or Aaron Rodgers. There's been some controversy in Pittsburgh, though, actually. Some people want Mason Rudolph. He's been killing it in the preseason.
Yeah.
This is what I don't understand. Like, I mean, I would like to talk to a Steelers fan, but like, I'm pretty sure Mason Rudolph was like considered to be your starting quarterback. Like, if you wanted to bring in a big name, why did you just bring in a good running back or a bigger name on a better position to help?
Or if you wanted to upgrade the quarterback position, actually upgrade it and bring in I don't know, go up. They should have signed Sam Darnold or something.
Yeah,
or Geno Smith.
Mason Rudolph's really good.
Routes.
But what I've understood, Mason Rudolph's actually good.
Yeah, he's been doing very good preseason.
I'm also curious to see. I'm not sure if it's been named yet, but I'm curious for the Giants if they go Russell Wilson or Jackson Dart, because Jackson Dart's been playing really well in the preseason. I would go Russell Wilson, but
short leash. So
short leash. Personally, another one opinion that Dan
make this an island show.
I thought Pittsburgh just should have kept Russell Wilson.
Who?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. They just should have kept Russell Wilson.
Well, I was just going to say, I feel so bad for Russell Wilson because I think he plays.
Let's ride.
I think he plays pretty well every year. And every year, no matter what team he's on or who he's against, there's always some type of controversy whether he should be the head or the backup. And I feel like he plays good enough to be ahead every year.
Yeah.
We should do a show on this.
We will do an NFL week 1. We will do a season preview for the NFL. I just have to do a lot more research. But I'm kind of looking to see if there's any more controversial. We are seeing Drake May will be the starter for the New England Patriots. I think that makes a lot of sense. Rumors the Jets might be starting Justin Fields. But, I mean, I don't really know who else you could start. I'm trying to think on their quarterback situation there.
Why
Tyrod Taylor. I gotta
Fields
hear.
and
See,
Wilson competing each other in Pittsburgh. They're both good.
I gotta hear if you guys want. This is an act. It's not Wikipedia, so we know it's accurate. I'm making that mistake again.
I think controversy pick is Josh Allen being the starter.
Yeah, right. So for those who are on listening on Spotify, we are looking at the starting quarterbacks versus the backup. So obviously, I think Josh Allen's got that down pat. This one would be interesting. Zach Wilson between Tua Tagovailoa. Tagovailoa is better, but I mean, he's another one where it's like, with his concussion history, do you really want to
Why does he just not wear the Guardian cap? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Drake Miak at Sika, they don't have an option. I mean, Tyrod Taylor, probably not, but I guess you're going to start Justin Fields. Lamar Jackson, I don't think that's a competition. Joe Burrow, who said he's the best quarterback in the NFL. Did you see that?
Yeah,
I did, but you know what? It's hard to argue it. He's certainly a top 5.
This is the one I literally don't understand.
Josh Allen's the best.
Aaron Rodgers, I would honestly start Mason Rudolph.
So would I.
Stroud.
CJ Stroud, obviously no. This one does confuse me though. I get Anthony Richardson and his injury, but I would at least give it a shot over Daniel Jones.
Trevor Lawrence, I'm curious to see how he performs because he's
that's another weird one.
Years.
Cam Ward, not the former Carolina Hurricanes goalie, by the way.
This is the guy I'm surprised no one. Trevor Siemian. I'm surprised no one has traded for him. I know he's a second, third stringer now, but he's had some pretty good years.
He has, yeah.
Bo Nix, obviously, there's no question there. Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I don't know. I think Patrick Mahomes should be the backup.
Yeah.
Geno Smith for the Raiders, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's not in Seattle anymore.
Trey Lance again. He's a third stringer.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott, obviously.
Yeah, here we go.
Now, this is the weird one. Look how many quarterbacks they have. They got Russell Wilson. You got Jameis Winston, who's not terrible. He'd be another guy I'd be like, if you're really wondering if you need a quarterback, there's a guy. You got Jackson Dart.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the Eagles, you got Jalen Hurts. This one's going to be obviously not interesting, but there's another guy I was talking about, Marcus Mariota. Surprised he's not a starter somewhere. Or just getting a try at it.
Daniel Jones is incredible. Caleb Williams.
Yeah, Caleb Williams.
I'm not a fan of him at all, personally.
I'm not either, no.
Jared Goff, obviously. Jordan Love, yeah. Then there's this. We just talked about this with Chip McCarthy versus Wentz. This is the one I'd like to talk about right here. Do you start Michael Penix Jr. or do you go Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins, I would.
He's not supposed to be the starter.
Why?
I'd be going with Penix Jr. I think you got to go in the future there, and I don't think Kirk Cousins is the future.
Really?
Wow. Not like the Falcons are really pushing for a playoff push. So see what the young guy can do.
I guess so, but why even have him then?
Mentor.
That's what everyone's calling for a new guy, but I'm surprised they want their draft pick. But I don't know why. I don't know about Bryce Young. You guys believe in Bryce Young?
I like him actually.
Yeah, he's good, dude. I like him too.
Recently, I thought he got better as the year went on with the Panthers.
Yeah,
I'd like to see another season with it's not like the Panthers are like a playoff contender. So let's see what a young guy can do for another year before you decide if you want to move on or not.
Yeah, exactly.
And unfortunately, in the Saints, you got Spencer Rattler. I don't know much about that.
Tell you one thing, Baker Mayfield, I think is gonna have a big year.
Yeah.
I'm a big Baker Mayfield fan. I really like him.
Then we got the last division here, which is obviously Kyler Murray.
Matthew Stafford, I think it's obvious.
Yeah, here's another guy, Jimmy Garoppolo. You never know, man.
He's a decent. He's serviceable. He's a game manager, but if you have a good defense and a good running game, he can be a nice option.
Yeah, game managers are big in the NFL.
I actually think game managers sometimes are the best way to do it.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, obviously, Mac Jones. I even would rather have over. I don't know about you. I'd rather try Mac Jones than Daniel Jones.
Hey, it's nice to see another Canadian there though, in Curtis Rourke. He's
Where
a
is
third
he?
string, but hey,
Oh,
he's on a roster. He's
no.
under Brock Purdy.
Wow, poor Purdy. Huh.
And I'm really curious
Yeah.
to see what Sam Darnold does in Seattle.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
Is that
I
an
think
upgrade
so.
from Geno Smith? That's $1 million question.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
there's a-
Geno Smith is pretty good.
Maybe every week we can look at these depth charts running back and be like, who should be the starter if there's any questions.
And we will
believe
have an NFL preview show, by the way. I'm working on getting some more guests for that and figuring out some timing, but we will have an NFL preview
I'm
show.
shocked
I will be
that-
honest with you guys. I will be almost learning a little more about other teams in the NFL. I am a much more of a CFL guy than I am the NFL. Obviously, I'm always wearing my CFL swag. I got the Ricky Ray jerseys behind me and my CFL stuff. But you know what? I do like the NFL as well, and I'm excited to really actually dive into a full NFL season.
Oh, me
trying
too.
to break it down a lot more. When I did, anyone who watched my previous show, 705 Sports, Dan Gray was the one that more followed the NFL than I did, but I'm really looking forward to experimenting more in the NFL and kind of seeing what it can do. I just find it's very difficult in the NFL on a Sunday night because you can't watch all the games, so it is harder to break them down. I'm watching a lot of highlights on YouTube for you.
With the NFL starting in October?
No, it starts not Labor Day weekend, but the weekend after.
Oh,
like
mid-September.
that
Wow,
Thursday.
So we'll have to have a preview show very, very soon. But let's move on to the NHL, and we will be talking more NFL over the next couple of weeks. I'm curious here from the Times is saying that Evgeny Malkin is being shopped potentially in Pittsburgh.
Obviously not
Oh my gosh, I heard it all. I thought you said that Gary Malkin was shot. I'm like,
No,
why did not lead the podcast? He seemed pretty calm about
Evgeny
it.
Malkin has no bullet wounds, to my knowledge.
Okay, good.
But Evgeny Malkin is rumored to be traded, and
I know where he's going.
Sault Ste. Marie,
Washington.
Yeah,
He would be a great fit.
The rumor is Ovechkin and Malkin don't really. They're not the best of friends. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, but they played together internationally, and they really missed the spot.
Can't play on.
Unpopular opinion. Do you know where he's going? If
Really,
he's going anywhere,
Toronto.
Detroit.
I can see that.
Oh yeah,
Sergei Fedorov's numbers being retired this year. The big Russian flair there.
right.
Detroit, I think, is at the cusp of becoming a very, very good team.
Massive
you bring Evgeny Malkin to be your third line center.
Yeah.
And I think Evgeny Malkin would be very, very interesting in Detroit. We'll have to ask Chazzy about this when he joins us again on the he should be back for the Thursday episode. Why not Evgeny Malkin in Montreal? Put him on a third line to Patrick Laine and Josh Anderson.
Ooh.
Yeah, if you can swing it, why not?
That'd be gross.
Montreal's got I believe they still have the cap space. I'm not sure after the Noah Dobson move, but I love the Noah Dobson move.
Well, you're going to laugh at me, Jacob, because it's your team, and why not the Islanders?
Actually, I don't think he fits the Islanders mold.
Yeah, I guess not.
If you're the Islanders, I would. If I'm the Islanders, I'm sticking ship with this.
Because
trade for John Tavares.
Unfortunately, from Evgeny Malkin's standpoint, he did have a bad year last year. He only played.
He's still a decent player, though.
Well, let me finish. He played 68 games. He had 16 goals, 50 points, which is still decent. But the problem is he's minus 24. Now, the argument really in that was he was playing with Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh was a terrible team. I mean, Sidney Crosby was a minus 20 last year. So, I mean, put it in perspective, right? But
he's like a Tavares. He's really slow.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying a third line power play specialist kind of player.
He's 6'5", 210 pounds. I mean, I know he had a bad season last year, his standards, but how many teams would love to have a second or third line center and gets 50 or 60 points, right? I think, especially in this off season of being the free agents being so weak, I think it could be a big market for.
And I'm going to say this, like Kyle Dubas or Lumpham, he's not afraid to pull the trigger on a big trade,
especially a stupid one.
But he's that's one thing I give Kyle Dubas a lot of credit for. When he feels something isn't working, hey, he wanted to trade Mitch Marner 3 years ago.
Yeah,
if you remember that, it was originally Marner was almost traded for Marc-Andre Fleury. So was Jack Campbell for Marc-Andre Fleury, and Brendan Shanahan vetoed both of those decisions.
I just looked it up. Malkin's cap hit is $6.1 million.
I get, but if you get a team to eat 25%, no.
Well, I'm saying $6.1 million is not terrible. I mean, it sounds a little high to a 50-point guy, but when you look at someone like Karkovic, or whatever his name is, Lokovic.
There's rumored Roslovic could, because he still isn't signed. The rumor is he's holding out for 8.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would rather have getting Malkin at 6 and him at 8.
It's the market. There's no one left. If you want a second line center, he is the only one left.
Imagine him in Carolina.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go somewhere, though, where he can be a power play specialist. But I did also want to touch on Sergei Fedorov. He won't
go to Toronto. I know that.
Not Toronto. No. It's Detroit's 100th season in the NHL.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So one of the ones they are honoring Sergei Fedorov, which that'll be on January 12th during their, since obviously during the centennial season, he won multiple awards. Actually, I'm surprised it's taken this long to retire Sergei Fedorov's jersey. When I was growing up as a kid watching Detroit when Cujo was there, Sergei Fedorov was just magic. I think he is one of the most underrated top 10 players in NHL history.
Well, that's the whole concept.
Because of a Pavel Datsyuk in that era and Steve Yzerman, and he had so many.
Well, it's a whole controversy out in the NHL. The Western players don't get the same credit as the Canadian players.
Well, I would say more foreign players versus North American players. Like right now, look at all the respect the Tkachuk family's getting and being on the video game covers. Matthew Tkachuk's not even going to play till January. Brady Tkachuk hasn't even won a playoff series.
Yeah. I don't get it.
It's kind of a whole, which there's still
a lot of cool stuff.
There's still a lot of controversy, by the way, on the Canadian side, saying that they want a different athlete covering Canada than what the States is getting.
Right.
That it's, again, I think a lot of people wanted a Johnny Gaudreau or a Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, for sure.
I think those were the no-brainers.
Yeah.
Or even an Alexander Ovechkin, since more than likely this is going to be his last season.
That's what I said.
Oh, I would have loved it if they were both going to retire the same year. Do a Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin shared cover.
I don't think we
be honest, they've been the face of the league for the last 20 years.
They have to get along now. Don't forget, Jacob, Malkin and Crosby together bought Ovechkin a Rolex when he broke the goal record.
I know.
So I don't think Malkin hates Ovechkin. I really
doesn't hate him, but I don't think they're like best buds and go get pints together.
I don't know. I really see it happening in Washington because Washington has really missed a big hole since they lost Kuznetsov and Backstrom. Now, Strome replaced Backstrom incredibly. I think that's how Ovechkin broke the goal record last year. Mm-hmm. But they haven't really replaced Kuznetsov since he went to the KHL. Malkin would be the perfect person to replace.
Now, speaking of shakeups, though, you guys heard that there are some rumors about Quinn Hughes wanting out of Vancouver.
Yeah.
I will say this. If Quinn Hughes is
done.
Vancouver is in not retool, rebuild.
Well,
100%. I think Quinn Hughes is a top 5 defenseman in the NHL.
Possibly top 2.
And, I think if you're Vancouver, unless you're bringing in, I don't know, you got to go get some, unless you're bringing in another top-tier defenseman. I think I would never happen. But, for Vancouver, I think Quinn Hughes might want to go to New Jersey to go play with his brothers.
I'll be honest, I was never a big, huge Quinn Hughes fan.
Oh, man, the guy's...
But last year, I know Vancouver didn't make the playoffs, and there was so much drama in our dressing room. But last year, when he had the C, took the team literally on his back, and played the best hockey I've ever seen him play and almost got him to the playoffs. I'm like, I give him a whole new respect. And I gave him a whole new respect that, unlike a lot of other controversial players, he said no to going to Four Nations even when he was healthy because he said that he would rather be fighting for his NHL team.
That's not true.
You don't think so?
That's not according to what Brady Tkachuk said,
but Brady Tkachuk's an idiot. I heard Quinn Hughes say that.
No, I'm gonna be honest. I could see a big reason of him leaving is because I think there was some part of it where maybe they were like, "You're not going because we don't want to risk if you do get hurt, and we have the right to say no because you're hurt." Because if you watch, there were other players that were like Jake Sanderson was a player that was hurt. He was allowed to go. There was players on Team Canada that were hurt that were invited, and they were still allowed to go, even though they weren't going to play
Now,
in
the only
tournament.
difference is there, Lane, Vancouver's GM, I cannot remember his name off the top of my head now, but I
Patrick
remember.
Calvin.
Thank you. He made a statement saying he did not hold Quinn Hughes from going.
Yeah, we don't
Quinn
know that.
Hughes
though.
made a statement saying, I didn't go because I need to focus on the Vancouver Canucks, not Four
Again,
Nations.
I'm just saying.
sorry. I'm not.
I'm sorry.
Brady
I don't
Tkachuk.
know Brady Tkachuk on a personal level, so maybe he is the nicest guy who will ever give me a ham sandwich in my entire life. I don't know. But I could see Brady Tkachuk just throwing crap at the wall, trying to stir up the pot.
I'm just
Plus,
saying.
too, he wants
we'll never
to
know
make
the
it
real
an excuse
story.
why
though.
No, we won't know the
America
real story,
lost.
Lane. You're absolutely right. It's one of
We
those.
don't know if it was one of those things where,
doors.
like, Quinn Hughes is just a professional. Again, there could be a timeline where maybe Quinn Hughes is just a professional, being like, "Yeah, I did it," but behind closed doors, he was like, "I really want to go watch my brothers play," and they were like, "You're not going, so you better suck it up."
I just look at Vancouver's roster, though, and when Quinn Hughes was out of the lineup, they were terrible. When Quinn Hughes was in the lineup, they made a playoff push.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
This team needs Quinn Hughes. If you lose Quinn Hughes, I don't care how many starting goalies you have, because you have 3 of them, in my opinion. I still don't understand keeping Demko, Lankinen, and Shelovs.
Makes no sense.
Personally, I still think Edmonton should have went and got Shelovs. I still think that could happen.
Oh yeah,
but
hope so.
I look at Vancouver, and if you don't keep Hughes, why did you sign Demko?
Yeah,
what was
100%.
the point? The team, if you don't have Quinn Hughes, this team will be in the basement in the West.
Quinn Hughes is like the second best defense in the NHL.
It's Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes.
I agree. Yeah. Which I would have not agreed with you a year ago.
Maybe argue, even though they're very different, would be Slavin in Carolina.
But he just does different things.
You could argue Slavin in Carolina. I can't believe I'm saying this. I think Drew Doughty is still at least a top, maybe top 10. But
you laughed at me when I said that.
I know I did.
And I was right.
Oh,
so that's why we write about Aaron Rodgers too.
Oh, good Lord, no.
I'm saying that's
Drew Doughty in Four Nations played outstanding. Drew Doughty was a big reason why the LA Kings made a playoff push that they did. Yeah, okay, they lost to the Oilers again, which unpopular opinion there. I think the Oilers have taken a huge step back. I think they're going to be a wild card team at best this year.
Well, we'll be lucky to see them make a playoff spot at this point.
I think Connor McDavid will drag them by the whatever he's going to drag them by that I'm not going to say on the show and get them there. But I think then he'll be out of gas by the time he gets there. But, yeah, it's interesting here in the NHL. We're also hearing rumors that
we're talking top defenseman and Evan Bouchard's not in the conversation. He just signed for $10.5 million.
Well, because I think that contract was terrible.
Just want to point that out there.
Honestly, I would still rather have Morgan Riley and Evan Bouchard.
I agree with you 100%.
But New Jersey Devils, speaking of, we're talking Hughes brothers are there. With training camp heading up, it looks like they're going to be looking into trying to look for some more PTOs because, they feel they need to round out their bottom 6. And when I'm hearing that they need to round out their bottom 6 and Toronto's looking to clear cap space, I think Toronto and New Jersey are going to work out a trade before. I think if Toronto is going to move on from Kemp and Yarncroke, I think New Jersey might be the perfect fit. They're a team that's looking for good bottom 6 forwards. Toronto has more bottom 6 forwards than they know what to do with.
Yeah,
it could be a match made in heaven because I think Yarncroke and Kemp are still NHL players.
Oh,
I think they're still good players.
Yeah.
Especially with Calle Yarncroke. I thought he played really well in the playoffs on that fourth line.
Well, he didn't get any points. I mean, he played well, but he didn't do anything.
He was on the fourth line, Dan. I don't expect.
I don't care. Look at Florida and won the Stanley Cup. Some games their fourth line got the game-winning goals, right? I mean, let's just be real here. I think
Florida is a very different team than Toronto. Florida is built around depth. Toronto is built around top 6.
Yeah, that's why Toronto lost. So how about we take a page out of Florida's book and build 4 good lines? And apparently that's what they did when they lost Mitch Marner. So Calle Yarncroke had 1 assist and he was a -4 in 12 playoff games. And I get he was injured this year, blah, blah, blah. And in regular season, he got 7 points in 19 games. So, but the year before, I did have 20 goals. So, I think he would be a really good fit for New Jersey. And same with David Kemp. I think I actually like David Kemp. I think he is one of the most underrated fourth-line centers in the NHL. I was a huge fan of Kemp when he was a rookie in Chicago. No one knew who David Kemp was. And for whatever reason, I was watching a Chicago game. And I was like, who's this number 64? He's all over the ice. And it was David Kemp. I've liked him ever since, right? And I think both of them really fit New Jersey's system. Who knows? Maybe we'll see them both go to Toronto. And I think New Jersey has a little bit of a farm system left. So maybe we'll see a
I
good
wonder if
prospect come the other way.
I wonder if New Jersey will move on from some okay prospects that Toronto may want to fill out their Marlies roster with.
Yeah.
Alex Nylander did sign another 1-year contract with the Marlies, so he'll be coming back still. But I mean, the Marlies are looking for some more depth.
You know what that means? It's going to be some random game in February. It's going to be like, William Nylander can't play. They actually put Alex Nylander in the lineup again.
Oh my gosh, that was almost a disaster.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
But before we wrap up the show, I do want to go back to the CFL.
Oh, actually, gas a last quickly.
Oh,
Dan loves to cut me off.
Okay, so we've talked about this quite a bit on the island here. With the depart of Mitzi Marner, the Leafs are desperately missing a heavy goal-scoring top six forward. And we don't know who's going to replace that yet. Gas, could we see Alex Nylander get another shot at the NHL? He did have 11 goals in Columbus, 10 goals in Chicago.
This question sucks. No offense, bro.
Really?
This is so ass. I need a new chair.
Come on.
It's ass in both levels. Number one, Toronto doesn't need another top six forward. They have enough.
Yeah, this Marcel guy's not going to do it.
I can't wait in November when he's on pace to have to put up a season comparable to Marner, and I get to laugh at you.
Jacob, you got a
comparable Marner. Now. You think he's going to get 100 points?
I don't think Marner's going to put up 100 points in Vegas.
Really?
No, I think Marner will be around an 80 to 90 point guy in Vegas. I think
Marcel's going to hit.
I think Marcel is going to hit around 70 in Toronto.
How is 70 comparable to 90? Please explain that to me.
I said 80 to 90, and it is comparable when you look at the salary difference.
What's that supposed to mean?
What do you mean? What's that supposed to mean?
Well, Marner's a $12 million guy, and Marcel's a $3 million guy. How they compare?
If I get 70 points out of a $3 million guy, and you get 90 out of a 12, you look like an idiot.
Right now, you look like the idiot.
No, I look beautiful. Not quite as beautiful as Lane.
Dan, you forget that guy's literally undriven. That guy never had a point per game season up until like a 100-point season until it was last year in a contract year because the only thing that guy cares about is dollar signs.
Well, I get that. I don't like Mitch Marner either.
In Vegas, that's a pure goal scorer. Thomas Hertl?
Yeah.
The problem is for someone, it's kind of like O'Connor Bedard ripped it up in CHL. He ripped it up in the World Juniors. He went to Chicago. No one can shoot, and he's putting up okay numbers.
That's going to be
Mitch Marner. Production will drop. I even think 90 points. I'm being a little generous. I think he'll be a point per game.
I think it'll be about 85. Yeah. I don't know. The way I look at it, I'm hoping I'm wrong.
Maybe Vegas will get a Genny Malkin.
I'm hoping I'm wrong. I really am.
Yeah.
But the most I see Marcelli hit is 60 points.
But Dan, if I get 60 points out of 3 million,
can you let me finish, please? I feel like very most Marcelli's going to hit 60 points. And there's going to be a 40-point gap there. And I really think Toronto's going to get creative and grab someone from the AHL. Whether it is Easton Cowan or someone else from the AHL. I don't have her AHL list in front of me. But I think depending where the season goes, I think Alex Nylander could get a second chance in the NHL.
I'm still saying ass. Won't be him.
Well, who will it be?
They'll go trade for something.
I don't know. The market is so crazy right now, right?
No, you'll find a team that's like You'll find in Arizona or someone a team that's like struggling.
Yeah, Mercedes basically came from Arizona.
Yeah, well, you can find
Actually,
another
none
one.
of them did. They're not there anymore.
You know what I mean, though. And he got 52 points over YouTube, blah, blah, on about.
You're gonna go to Seattle halfway through the year and be like, "Yo, that Jared McCain guy. What are you guys doing with that guy?"
Yeah.
Honestly, I honestly don't think the Leafs top six is as bad as everyone. I think everyone's hitting the panic button for no reason.
Same.
Panic.
Unpopular opinion, I like this Leafs roster better now than I did last year.
Same.
Save the cap space for when Calgary underperforms and then trade for Nazem Kadri, move John Tavares to the third line, and then go
Well, that's not happening either, but I appreciate it.
I think it could. I still think it could, because if Calgary ends up struggling this year and it's a rebuild mode, Nazem Kadri doesn't want to rebuild.
People are going to laugh at me. I want to see Jordan Eberle in Maple Leaf. I
That
think
won't
him and
happen because
Tavares.
he's the captain in Seattle. We really likes it out there. He's got a family.
Well, yeah, I like in Seattle too. But I look at it, him and Tavares had all the chemistry
I would love it
in juniors. I mean, what a way to end a career. Eberle's got that leadership, that winning mentality, and he never got done in the NHL. You know, putting the two of them back to imagine the power play magic of those two together. Like, they got the connection.
Which, by the way, just so everyone knows, we will be doing an NHL preview show. We'll probably do, I'll be honest, we'll probably end up doing a preview show just on the Leafs themselves because that's such a big topic here on the island. And then we will do one of all
How it might even be live.
We'll do, we'll do one of all the Canadian teams, and then we'll do one of the rest of the league as well. But I want to move on and go back to the football field a little bit here and go to Canadian football again. And the MOP race is really heating up, and I've seen a lot of this is who, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, well, blah, blah, blah. I want to make my own list because I'm an independent man who don't need no man. And here it is. So I have Vernon Adams Jr. at 1 right now. Bo Levi Mitchell at 2. Kenny Lawler at 3. Trevor Harris at 4. Nathan Rourke at 5. DeMonte Coxey at 6.
Switch Lawler and Coxey.
Pardon?
Switch Lawler and Coxey.
You think so?
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
I think Lawler, though, gets more attention, which is why I think he has a better chance.
No. I can't go on this. That he had these 3 games and was like, oh, double team me, and then you have literally sucked every game. You're 6th.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with Lane. I mean,
Nathan works better than Lawler.
Looked really good at the beginning here. He's really died off. And to be an MOP, you have to be consistent, right? Dominic Koski has been consistent the whole year besides of his injury.
Now,
one guy, you're going to laugh at me, but someone I would add on this list, depending how the year finishes, is Nick Arbuckle.
I was going to ask you guys, is there anyone on your list that you would add? And I'll be honest, I was toying with Nick Arbuckle.
I'd put Arbuckle over Lawler. I would put Arbuckle over Lawler.
Yeah, I would.
Well, okay, Lane. Last episode, you were so mad at me because I put the Ticats too low in the power rank. You're saying I don't.
He doesn't do anything.
Now I put 2 Ticats in the top 3.
Okay, but he sucks.
I don't think
he was good for 3 games. When double team me because I'm so good and you suck.
But Lane, is there anyone there that you would add?
I caught something. I did something more productive than Kenny Lawler's done in 3.5 weeks.
Lane, is there anyone then that you would add?
Double team me.
Okay, we will. Dan and I basically are. You're in the middle of our Streakers Island sandwich. But Lane, who would you add here to this list? Dan already stole mine, so I have to think of another one.
Can you come back to me? Give me a minute. I got.
Oh, I've already thought of another one, so I will. I'm going to say Dietrich
Mills
in Calgary.
Oh, good answer.
I think Dietrich Mills is, he's really leading the charge of that rushing game. And he's a guy I could see. I don't think he'll win the MOP, but I think he's one that I would be putting in the conversation. I think Lane has an idea.
I got one. This might be a stretch, but I think you'll see where I'm going. Cody Fajardo.
Yeah.
Only because
Edmonton
literally
the playoffs. Yeah.
100%.
Because literally, he his first 2 games kind of sucked, but ever since he's been like, hold my beer, I got this.
And actually, Lane, I don't even agree with you that his first 2 games sucked. I think the first 2 games he brought life back into Edmonton.
No, I
Even
know,
though
but
they
I'm just saying, like,
lost, he
he
played
didn't
well.
get the result he wanted, but
Well, no, but you can't say every time you lose you played bad.
well, yeah, you can. That's what I do.
But
I got even got probably another unpopular opinion here, based off of last week.
Mhm.
I might still put Nathan Work above Trevor Harris or have them tied. I think Nathan Work is climbing up this list, even though he threw an interception. I still think he's making some explosive plays on.
I know, but I got to look at overall season versus 1 week.
It
And
hasn't
right
been
now,
1
I
week
still
though.
think Trevor Harris. I think he dropped a bit, but
It hasn't been 1 week though.
well, actually, it has. This was Trevor Harris's first week under 70% completion the entire season.
No, I thought you meant with Nathan Rourke. I'm like, it's
No,
been like 4 weeks.
Nathan, I remember earlier in the year, I thought Nathan Rourke was debatably not even good enough to be a starting quarterback, and now I have him in my MOP.
I'm saying you could put them 4A, 4B right now.
You could. It's just like, truthfully,
Well, I'm
maybe
dropping Lawler, though, I'm
Lawler and
sorry.
Coxie should almost be neck and neck. Maybe
I gotta
Lawler
drop
shouldn't even be
Lawler.
on this list because, as you said, his recent performance hasn't been as good.
Honestly, go look at his recent games right now.
You're right. No, Lane. You are
What's he
definitely
done?
right. This last few games they weren't.
That Giovanni guy's been better. If I didn't
Yeah.
put him on here, at least he actually catches the ball.
What about
Kenny
Tim
Lawler
White?
stay-
No, kidding.
Oh God, no.
But
No,
that
but I mean,
is
like-
we will keep on this. I'm gonna keep updating this list week to week, and we're gonna keep going on about it. But I've decided, and I'll make a bump for it for our next episode that we do this. I'm picking my player of the week.
For what? CFL? Baseball?
All sports that we cover.
Oh, okay.
And I have some very good choices. I could go Spencer Brown in Toronto. I could go Nick Arbuckle. I could go Vernon Adams Jr. in Calgary. But do you know who I'm going with?
Obviously not any of those guys.
Baby, no. And I'm going to
nice
Shane
pick.
Bieber.
Yeah.
I am so impressed. His first start since April of last year. And he basically looked like he could win the Cy Young Award if he was healthy the whole year.
Yeah, literally.
I'm going to go with Bo Bichette.
Okay, you're going Bo Bichette?
Unbelievable. This guy, like,
he had a good week.
4 for 6 the other day. He went like 2 for 3 today. This guy is literally
had 9 hits in that last series. Yeah, he's insane.
It's insane.
And he's good defensively too.
So do we all get each player of the week?
Sure, Dan. Who's your player of the week?
Oh, so are you done, Nate? I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just saying, like, even that play, I heard it on the radio, but they couldn't believe the play in the bottom of the 13th whatever inning it was. He was able to make a pick call at the last second to get the batter off the second base off. It was all because he noticed that Otto Lopez was so far off the bag that instead of going after the first base guy, he was able to get the second base guy and hold up the Marlins so they couldn't advance the runner and get him out. That literally saved them the game.
Yeah. I mean, Bull
phenomenal.
I mean, Jacob might laugh at me, but we're talking MVP to CFL, but Bull Bichette, in my opinion, could be in the conversation MVP for baseball. I mean,
I think he's certainly having a Gold Glove season.
He's up there. Oh. I know he's not leading the league in offensive play, but he's very good defensively. And offensively, he's played the most days with the games with the Jays, 128. I believe that's almost all of them. And he's
been durable this year, which has been his problem in years past.
He's got 16 home runs, 83 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, and his Abbott's is a 304.
He leads the league. He leads the American League in average.
Yeah, like I think
best hitter of the American
he could like 40 second base hits, one third base hit, which is pretty impressive. 164 hits. I mean, this guy is having my opinion, an MVP season, which is going to be tough for the Jays negotiating contract.
Remember,
though, depends what's done in the playoffs. If nothing happens in the playoffs, no one's going to care. But
Mr. Morfor, who's your player of the week?
My player of the week, I'm going to go CFL. and I'm going to go with Nick Arbuckle. He
Great pick.
in his goal. I love this guy forever. Like I said on the live show, or maybe I said this episode, they all blending together. I love his family, super nice family guy, wife and great
You
kids
said that like
and
an
all
hour
that.
ago.
And he he made in this game in Vancouver, he passed his career best of over 3,000 yards in the season. And he also had his best career game, which before this week, I think was last week, a 383 or whatever. This week he was 430. And the other thing was so impressive about this week, and not just this week with Nick Arbuckle, but I would say past month or so, he hasn't made the colossal mistake. Like you look at that game Toronto played in Montreal, we possibly could have won that game, but he made a really bad interception for a mistake. He hasn't been making the colossal mistakes. And I said it here on the island before, I'll say it again. A few years back, before even Chad Kelly, this would have been the COVID year, actually. And
we were so bad that year.
But that was the year the season got canceled.
Right.
But if the season was a thing, we were debating back and forth between Bethel Thompson and Arbuckle. And the Argos picked Bethel Thompson, which I can't argue with. We got 2 Grey Cups with it, so it was the right choice. But I myself would have picked Nick Arbuckle at that time. That's how much I like the guy. And that's how much Dimwitty likes him and Pinball likes him, because they all wanted Arbuckle too. It's just that Buffalo Thompson had the now factor about him. But now we're finally seeing Arbuckle from being a decent second quarterback. Don't forget, last year he was the first string quarterback. We had Cameron Dukes as the second. Now you're going from first string to MOP compensation in less than 12 months. I love this guy. It's a great story, and he's my athlete of the week because he had a good week on top of it.
Never mind player of the week. He stands athlete of the week.
But we're going to do all sports. I think
there is one thing I do want to mention too in Nick Arbuckle, and I don't remember ever seeing this. So I believe it was 5 weeks ago. His efficiency rating was at 100. I was at 87.
Yeah.
It is now at 106.
Wow. I remember
the way he just
Crosby's number
improved is just absolutely mind-boggling. So, and I'm thinking too, boys, I'm going to say this. I think I'm going to start picking my player of the game for every post-game show we do.
Cool. I like that idea.
So, see you people on the island. Actually, funny enough, this was Will from Sault Ste. Marie who gave me the idea, friend of the program. So thank you very much, Will.
Thanks,
and
Will.
this is something we will be doing. So that's the thing, right?
I don't know why I didn't think of that.
You have an idea for the show. Please send it our way. And we will certainly consider it.
And we have people
from
on my
door and tell
me the island.
Knock on Lane's door. Knock, knocking on Dashko's door.
Not too hard. You don't want to break it. But that's the thing. Like, we have listeners on from the island from all over the place. So.
We do. But Mr. Moore, for your money.
Yes, sir.
I see you're walking on sunshine for your mindset.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into details because Jakey will get cranky with me. But I did encounter a situation today where I got a little bit of a argument with someone. And there was some people, for me in past years, or other people would have continued the argument or followed the guy to continue it or whatever. I just rolled up my window and turned down another street. And sometimes that's just the best thing to do. You just gotta know when to walk away. Because what benefit would have done to me to say something back to him or, follow him or whatever? It's like, I just turned and went the other way. So I thought some people, you got to pick and choose your battles, and somebody's just got to be a bigger person, just walk away from something. So that's
very true, Dan. Sometimes you need to be the bigger person in life, and especially with road rage, it can be so dangerous.
And not only that in life, right? Like, we all have choices, right? Like, even in your job, if your boss is I want to say this because I feel like a lot of people need to hear this, If you're at work and your boss is reaming at you and screaming at you and saying, "Oh, you're not good at this," and you have the power to walk away. If you feel like you're going to do something dumb or you're going to make a silly decision and break something or hit someone, or if you're feeling like you can't control your emotions, you do have the power to walk away. I
Good
feel like so
point.
many people, they do things especially in their job. If you're working minimum wage, you make a mistake, you don't need to be reamed out for it. You do have a right to stand up for yourself. You do have a right to say, please don't speak to me like this. You do have the right as an employee, as a person, to say, look, this is really upsetting me. You can't speak to me like this. And if they continue to do it, you can always walk away. They cannot reprimand you for that. That is your right as a human. So if you're ever feeling like you're in a situation where you're stuck and you feel like you can't walk away, just know you have the power, because you do have the power to do it. Mental health, everybody needs to be careful and mindful that, mistakes do happen, tempers get heated, but you got to make the right decision. Don't stand there if you think, man, I'm going to punch him, or I'm going to do something I regret in 2 minutes. Just walk away.
Great point, Lane. I love it. That's a very, very good point. I've done that at jobs too, where I've had managers
Mhm.
Oh, and then I know
tell me
people.
crazy
I know it
things.
feels like you
I've just
can't
walked away
sometimes.
from them, and now here I am at the island. So.
Well, exactly right. That's one of
I'm not
those
saying
things.
get fired, but you can.
No, I'm not
you have
saying
the
get
No, but
fired
at the
either.
same time, you don't take. If you feel you're putting yourself in a situation that's going to end poorly, sometimes the best thing you can do is just leave. But I do want to say we do need to wrap up the show for today. But
I got a headache.
thank you very much for watching. And if you're worried, we will. You know what we will do?
No clue.
We will be right back when we have our next show on Wednesday. So thank you very much for watching. I'm the self-proclaimed sports analyst, joined by Lane Dashing Dashko and Mr. More for His Money, who needs a Tylenol and a Gaviscon. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see, not tomorrow. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Hi, John Cena. Bye, John Cena.
Bye, John Cena.